Alright, cool. So we're going to give this a shot. This is my new podcast. It's called Long-Winded, Short-Tempered. The point of this is basically for me to go back and just see what the hell I was thinking of. And I guess if anyone listens, they'll just see how polluted my mind is. Anyway, I'm your host, Alex Balfour, and if you can't remember that name, I also go as soon-to-be in a shit ton of student loan debt. That one's a little bit more to remember, a little more common. Probably one of the most common names in America today. So yeah. I had a list of shit that I wanted to talk about that I started like months ago. Now it's just all weird. It's all like political shit that doesn't really matter anymore. So I think we're just gonna kind of go off the cuff here. Try to talk about shit that I've done like recently. Topics that are in the news now. Just shit I'm feeling, I guess. Also, a lot of the topics is just like stuff I want to vent about, but I'm not really in a mood to spew a bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter. So I guess we could do that later or some other episode or something. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a schedule for this. I don't really have a work ethic. So college has been kind of all right. Good thing I have nice professors that don't give me a lot of work, or else I would be out of here stat. So yeah, basically, there is no theme for this. It's just me talking. Maybe it'll help me be a better conversationalist, but it's really just talking to myself, and I do that shit all the time anyway. The only difference is now someone's listening, kind of by choice, by clicking on it, I guess. Most people don't really choose to listen to me. It just kind of happens. If they had the choice, so when they do, they don't. And that's cool. They have conversations with other people, and I guess that's what other people are for, to talk to, but whatever. So yeah, this is kind of like what it's like to be friends with me, I guess. Not many people have that experience. Many people have chosen to no longer have that experience. That's cool. I judge everyone equally. So you're gonna die just like me, so what's the point of wishing harm or whatever? I don't really have the energy for that anyway. Speaking of that, I don't get how people can stay mad at people, like fights. I know multiple people have talked about it, where it's like, how can you schedule a fight like in advance, like when you just not be mad anymore? Like people used to do that back in middle school. They'd be like, meet me at the park on Saturday. It's Monday. Just go to lunch and have your chicken nuggets, okay? Just use all your anger to squirt that ketchup out onto your fucking styrofoam plate, why don't you? But it really never made sense. There was only one time that I was supposed to fight someone. It was 7th grade, I think. So what happened in 6th grade is me and this kid were hanging out with a bunch of other people at my old elementary school that got closed down. And there was like this short little building that like connected to my school, and in there had like the boiler or like the furnace and shit. I don't really know. Like you only looked in there because it was spooky when you're 8 and it's dark. That, and there was like a giant chimney next to it where bats came out of, and that was kind of scary. You'd like hear them and see them sometimes, especially if you're there late at night, being a delinquent. But yeah, so I don't really know what's in there. All I know is that there was like a little metal box on the side for you to like climb on top of, and then you could get on top of that small roof there. And I gotta mention, at 6th grade, I was like 4'8" and 85 pounds. I didn't really have much for muscle on me, and all my weight was probably just like bones and fat because I had like a beer gut. I don't really have a beer gut now, but I don't have that nice even distribution of fat. It's like butt, thighs, and then like tits and stomach. So it's basically just like any 50-year-old from the South that just pounds brusques on the fucking porch with his dog, his Labrador Retriever or some shit. Is that even a thing? I don't know dogs. I think I just combined two things. I'm sure they've been bred at some point. Fuck, it's been thousands of years. Okay, so before I continue that story, this is why it's called long-winded, fucking short-tempered. Holy shit. I didn't know we'd be doing this. Anyway, so on Twitter, all those people that are like, we don't deserve dogs. You bet your ass we do. After all the years it took breeding them, Jesus Christ. We don't deserve it after all that. We should just leave them behind. Let them do their own thing because they're too nice sometimes. Because they've been trained to make sure you don't slam your head when you're having a seizure. We don't deserve you. We bred you to do that. Like what? That's like saying companies don't deserve employees that they trained and paid. We feed the dogs. We bred the dogs. We love the dogs sometimes. Some people beat them up. Some random old lady in a town near me used to like hang dead dog carcasses or something up. That's what my dad told me. He's not exactly a reliable source, but dude's pretty funny, so I'll just believe him just for the sake of that. But it's like, yeah, we deserve. Anyway, so back to the story at my elementary school in 7th grade, or in 6th grade. So I climbed on the roof somehow, pulled all 85 pounds up with my pretzel sticks. And there was this other kid who was also scrawny. And, he was cooler than me, which, like, everyone was at that time. So that's fine. That didn't really matter. I didn't really care. I wasn't self-conscious, really, at that point. And my self-esteem was doing just all right. God, I wish I could relive those days. So anyway, he couldn't get up. So I was like, you can't get up. That was about it. And then a year later, we were, like, talking or something on, like, Facebook. And I brought it up. Because, I thought it was funny and because I didn't have anything else to say because my conversation skills were, non-existent. So I was like, I'll just talk shit. He'll like me then. So I said that and he got all mad because I called him like weak basically for not being able to get up there. And I guess it damaged his masculinity or something because he wanted to like fight me 2 days later at like Rockwell Park, which is like 2 minutes away from my house. And I actually said, yeah, I said I'd do it. So I hit up this other kid. I was like, yo, I just told this kid he was weak, basically. And now we're going to fight. So you're going to come with me. He said, all right. So Saturday comes along. I go there. Didn't get my friend that I asked to come. And then nothing happens. So, cool, I guess. I don't know if I would have won. It was pretty even. It was like two skeletons fighting. So it probably just would have ended in a draw. Well, I'm white and scrawny. So I probably just would have got fucking plastered regardless. Even if the dude was like smaller than me. I don't know. He was probably bigger than me by 2 pounds, but anyway. I don't have quick twitch muscles, so I don't think I could have fought him. Because I didn't watch fighting back then either. It really didn't interest me. Like, I knew my dad went to see Chuck Liddell back when that dude was fucking eating up shots to the mouth. And, like, met him. But I don't really have an interest in that. I was too busy, living up the days I was good at baseball or something. But, yeah, so I don't really have an interest. And after, let's see, like 3 weeks ago, I had, like, a quote-unquote boxing match in like this kid's dorm with like one glove each. And between him being 6 inches taller than me with like 4 inches more to the reach, anytime I swung he would just hit me first, and then my arm was too short to like touch him, and if I did it just like grazed off of him, so it didn't really work out. So yeah, don't have quick twitch muscles, don't have too much strength, especially since I haven't gone to the gym since baseball season last year. And I'm not good enough to play in college, so I have to make myself go to the gym. Cool. Awesome. That's what I want to do. I need to do it. Or I'll just do calisthenics. Like a week ago, I started doing push-ups and jumping jacks and curl-ups before my business class. I did that twice. I was like, hey, I'm going to do 100 of everything every day. Like those YouTube things where it's like, I did 100 push-ups every day for a month, and look what happened to me. And they get stacked. Well, I did it about 2 days. My arms hurt at night for like an hour. It would just like come on me. Pause. But yeah, so then I stopped doing that because I really didn't want to find the time, and I figured out my roommate's course schedule by this point, so I knew what free time I had, and I wasn't using it to, get a good workout in, but a workout nonetheless. So that shit's got to change because winter's coming. There's the whole freshman 15 thing. So between those, like, I'm done. I'm just going to get fat and soft. But for some reason, I think dad bods are coming back or did come back and are gone. But it's cuffing and cuddle season, so I think I can get away with a couple extra pounds on me. Especially knowing that Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, and I'm going to be doing Friendsgiving. Excuse me. So, basically, I'm just going to fucking pig out. It's going to be great, because everyone likes eating, especially white girls. I hate that. That's one thing that I just can't stand. Any white girl that's like, I love eating, and then they eat as much as my sister. My sister once went to Thanksgiving, came back home, was 2 pounds lighter. I love eating. Food is the greatest. Hey, no shit. Everyone else has that instinct. That's how you survive. I doubt there's many people that don't like food or eating. Hey, I like water. Cool. I do kind of like water. Only cold water. Anyone who drinks piss warm or room temperature water, get out of here. If that's your preference, it's not even real. You're making it up. You just want to be different. You probably just saw that Drake and Josh movie where Megan got the most lucky series of events ever, where she's just balling out at this hotel, drinking room temperature water. I think that's what happens. Either that, someone in that series of movies or whatever drank room temperature water. I don't know. Anyway, that's I don't get it. Like, you'd think you'd want -5-degree water just to flex, because it's not ice, it's still water, because there's like something in the water that does it, and only you can do it because you're rich or something. Instead, you're just a picky bastard who likes water that doesn't even refresh you. If there's anything I don't want after a workout, it's warm water. I mean, I don't work out that often, so if there's anything I don't want in general, it's warm water. But especially after working out or like playing a game or something. It's just annoying. Because it doesn't like help. It's like, I guess it's better than swallowing my spit, but still, it's nothing like to get happy about, So that's stupid, first of all. I don't even know where I was going with that, honestly. I forget. I just talked about Drake and Josh and completely lost. Oh, yeah, girls liking food. Stop. Eat more first. If you like food that much, don't stop when you're full. I don't talk about how much I love food, and I have a problem with stopping when I feel satisfied. To me, satisfied is still hungry, and full is I want to take a goddamn nap right now. Except I don't take naps. So it's basically just when I eat to the point where I've used too much energy eating and just like zombie out for a little bit. Or, here we go. Here's a big event. So I went to a concert last Friday, which was, what was that? The second, I think. Yeah. So I went there on Friday. Maybe it was the third. No one cares. Jesus Christ. So I went there. Went up to Boston from fucking Bryant, took my hour-long bus ride after standing around in Providence for 2 hours. Got there, and then I met up with my friend. We went to eat. Jesus Christ. We went to eat at this fajitas and Rita's place or whatever. It didn't really feel like authentic anything. I think they just did it because it rhymed, and it's just a bunch of white people that want to sell Hispanic food or something. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. If it was Portland, they would have fucking closed it down because white people can't sell that stuff or something. This world's getting crazy. So anyway, me being the cheese admirer that I am, decided to get nachos for myself for dinner. and the plate comes out, and it's probably like a pound. I say pound and a half to my friends and my mom because like it sounds better because of what happens later, but it was probably more like a pound. Anyway, more than any white girl who loves food could eat, so shut up. Anyway, so I do that, get on the T, go to Paradise Rock Club in Boston. It's over by like Boston College or Boston University. I don't really care. I don't go to them. So we go over there, wait in line for a little bit. You know how that goes. It's like a small venue. It's like a bar. So it's like real nice and tight. So we watched the first band. That was trippy. Band was named Covet. It's like a math rock band. That sounds dorky because nobody who listens to this is going to know what math rock is, but it's just like technicals, like guitar and drumming and like switching time signatures and like random stopping. Like it's just super complex and it just like blows your mind when you listen to it. And this band had this girl as the main guitarist. Her name is Yvette Young, and she just slays. I put on my Twitter, I was like, if there's anything I learned from this concert, it's that Polyphia is like the greatest band, and Yvette Young has hands like Steph Curry, because this girl just fucking glides on the fretboard. It was insane. And I didn't take any Snapchat videos of it, so all I have is my memory and everyone else's videos on YouTube to watch, I guess. So that was cool. Next band was Hail the Sun. It was like a trash, what even genre would that be? Probably like metalcore or something. Not that I don't like metalcore, it's just that band was whack. And the lead singer, this is not my idea, it was my friend's. The lead singer sounds like Phineas and Phineas, but imagine Phineas doing like vocal growls and screams. So yeah, it was weird. Didn't really like it that much. It'd be one thing if I went to like a concert where all the bands were like that, because then I'd be in the mood to jump around. But when I just got off like a forced hypnosis by the first band, wasn't really feeling it. I got really gassy right now. Like my stomach is just pumping gas into my mouth and throat, and it's really annoying and I have to swallow and shit. So sorry for that. So finally Polyphia comes on. They're a math rock band. They're a lot more groovy. They got like jazz, hip hop, rap influences, and like you can hear it in the music because there's a lot more like there's a lot more digital techniques and instruments on there. In a company with a lot of like live playing, like on their records and live. So they were a lot more vibey, more energetic, more fun, a lot more bounce, like some shit you can really get into. And that's who I've been listening to a lot recently, leading up to the concert, because, their new album, New Levels, New Devils, is bomb. And I've been listening to them and will continue to listen to them like constantly for the next week and a half, just because post-concert depression really fucks me up. Especially when you come back from like a trip with like a friend and like you've been staying the week, like, you just don't really feel up to things because you're like, that was fun. And now it ended. So anyway, I get about halfway through that set and I'm wearing the shirt that I came with, the band shirt that I just got, which was fresh. It was pink. I got a flannel shirt on, long sleeve. And then I have my coat on, and the place didn't allow bags, or else I would have put, 3 of my fucking shirts in a bag. But I couldn't do that, so I was hot. They had like a water stand in the back where like you could fill up a plastic cup, but I wasn't really feeling like going back there all the time until about hold up. Sorry, someone just came to my door, so I got cut off. So anyway, I'm there. And I haven't really drinking that much. I'm not even going to play with the tense of that word because I don't know what it is right now. I'm tired. So, right before Polyphia comes on, I start getting like those warm saliva bursts in your mouth. Like when you're going to fucking uke. And it's bad because it tastes awful. You can't, if you swallow it, it only makes you want to throw up more. But you don't like having like this warm like spit reservoir in your mouth. So you kind of just have to deal with it. So I ran to the bathroom like a bitch. I had a good spot. I was pretty close to the front, and I had to sacrifice it so I didn't look like a complete asshole throwing up on everyone. So I get to the bathroom, I was going to the going in the stall, spit in the toilet, didn't feel like throwing up, went back. I had some water because I was like, all right, that's gonna do it. And then about maybe 20 minutes through the set, I started getting these like spits again, and I'm like, this is the time. If it didn't happen the first time and it's still going on after I drink and cooled down and everything, this is the end of me. So this time, extra bitchy, I pick up the pace in my strut as I head back to the bathroom, trying not to like look like a complete lunatic by running there, but also making sure I don't throw up on the ground. So here I am juggling like lava spit in my mouth that tastes like dirt and ass. And I'm basically just, trying to buy time. And then right before I get to the door, I do like one of the things. I don't know how well it's going to come up on like the podcast, but anyway, I do one of those when you're about to throw up, but you stop it. Like it's not in your mouth. It's like all in your throat. Not necessarily like the puke, but just like the feeling is like in your throat. So I do that. I open the door, try to make it to the stall, and this dude's like at the sink, and I just go right in the trash can that's right next to the sink. So that was gross. There was like a plastic bottle in there, so it just like ricocheted off that. Not like spraying around, but just made it extra loud. So everyone knew that after hearing, ugh, it was also just like, raining down in Africa on the fucking trash can. So I go to the stall, proceed to throw up, and fucking people at metal concerts are so nice. Unless you're the drunk guy pushing everyone around, everyone's pretty much like family. Like it's real tight, and it's like real comforting kind of, especially if you're a girl, because everyone wants to slay, so they'll protect you at all costs. But so I make it to the bathroom, I finish something up, and this dude's like, yeah, you all right? I was like, yeah, it's like I'm not like drunk or anything. I didn't drink, I'm sober. It's just that I had a shit ton of nachos with like 6 ounces of fucking Cholula on it, and I just can't handle it. Not because of the Cholula necessarily, however, like I like spicy foods kinda, but sometimes sriracha just beats my ass. Even like Texas Peter Red Hot. I think it's just like the vinegary in those with the sriracha. It's more than just like I want to taste it, and then by trying to taste it, it just sets my mouth on fire. But yeah, anyway, so I'm a weak bitch with that, but I still kind of like it because I'm like I don't even know the word. Never mind. So anyway, throw up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, yeah, just let me know you know what I'm wearing, and I'm like, okay. So I head back. Finished the concert. It was great. Still didn't play the song I wanted them to, but they haven't played it on any of their set lists. And the reason they don't is because if these are the first and the last band were instrumental bands, so they don't really like feature singing or anything. So the guest vocals that they had on like the song I wanted them to play, he's doing his own thing. He's not part of the band. His name is Kuko. And he actually had a video up on Genius explaining lyrics to a song. So obviously he's pretty popular. That and like Polyphia had like Y2K and big like rap industry producers like make some of their like beats. And not necessarily from scratch, like they would send ideas and do it. So it still had like the metal-y influence, like the mathy kind of shit, but it was definitely like modernized in terms of like hip hop styling. So they couldn't play that just because they'd have to like sync it up with like a computer thing, and it's I don't know. I mean, they probably could have done it. Maybe they just didn't want to play it, even though it's a fucking bop, and I play it every time I walk to or from like something on campus. But every other song, you like get killed. They did their thing. You do your encore after walking off stage. Like it was just good fun. So then like the rest of the weekend was just kind of chill, watching a lot of Workaholics and stuff. And then Sunday rolls around, and last time I was up in Boston, I set a bus time for 11. That was dumb. Don't want to wake up at 10 a.m. again after like a long Saturday night. So I set the bus time for 2 o'clock, depart from South Station up in Boston to head back to Providence so I could head back to school and get shit done because I had like big stuff coming up in the week. It actually wasn't as big as I thought in retrospect, but... So I get there at 2:20 because I thought it was at 2:30, and me just being a dude basically who doesn't want to be wrong and doesn't want to check to make sure they're right, thought it was at 2:30. So I stand there for a couple minutes, and I'm like, hey, no one's here. I guess it's I guess no one really comes to Providence at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I mean, I was right. Nobody goes to Providence at 2:30 in the afternoon. They actually go at 2. And I was not one of those people, so I had to get a ticket for 4:30. And I just like chilled there for like 2 hours. I like went outside and like sat inside. I just like walked around, just like kind of, made the best of it. Surprisingly, I wasn't like too mad about it. Like when I found out, it was like, okay, yeah, like shit happens. What are you gonna do? Then eventually I finally got back. So I got back in Providence at like 5. Or no, I got back in Providence at like 5:50. And that was too late for me to go to the bus plaza to get on the first bus to Bryant. So then I had to wait till, I thought it said 6:30, and this time it came early, and I knew it was at 6:30, and it came at like 6:15. So I got back to campus like 15 minutes early. And yeah, so that's basically that whole story. It was just a good weekend, pretty chill. On campus it's been dying down recently, so it's nice to like get out. A lot more people are heading home more consistently. So just like having like those switch up of pace, like going back home, going to Boston, it's kind of nice. Like a while ago, I went back home Columbus Day weekend 2 days early because I was sick, and then I just terrorized the city that I live in for 5 days, or 5 days because it was Columbus weekend. And then the next weekend after that, I chilled with people that I didn't chill with that weekend. So I was back home like twice in a row, and I haven't been back since. Right now, Ryan's trying to get food. Little does he know I'm in the middle of something, so I won't respond. He should just know that this is my private time while my roommate is out. Okay, so what else do we have to talk about? I guess I could just cover things that like I'm late on the party for, I guess. That's probably going to get boring. No one really wants to hear my thoughts on shit that's way gone. Yeah, Red Sox won. Way to go. Yankees still talking about how many rings they have. No one really gives a shit except for them. You would think that people that follow the Yankees fan base would do it ironically just because we all shit talk them and literally everyone says Yankees sucks in the comments of like any post. Even if it's a post of like a tree frog, someone will be saying Yankees suck. But they do it seriously. 27 rings, 20, like no one cares. And then they'll be like, "Oh, what happened to your rings during, such and such time between what was it, like 1912 and fucking 2004?" And it's like, "Hey, shit happens, Anyway, so yeah, cool for that. I want to see Patriots win it after a disappointing run against the Eagles in the last Super Bowl. That'd be cool. Don't really follow hockey, so I couldn't give like less of a shit about it. I guess I hope that Bruins take it home just because it's like local, but honestly, I don't care. Basketball. I never got into basketball that much. I tried to watch it like 2 years ago, and then I just like never made a routine of it just because I don't even watch baseball that much anymore. Like there's just other things that I want to do just because baseball's like long. It's one of those things where like if I had a girl I was with that liked watching baseball, I'd fucking do it all the time. Like I used to watch football all the time just because that's when I do my AP chemistry homework, but now that I don't do that, I don't have as much of an incentive, so don't do that as much. Then just being at college, I don't have it like readily available because I can't get every channel on like my laptop for like through Xfinity online. So that's fucking rough. I'll have to censor that out. That way I don't get fucking, thrown out of office. That way Twitter doesn't expose me. I'll just like reverse it and be like Eminem when he said, the F word against Tyler, the Creator, and it was like, yeah, I knew it was bad, but if I reverse it, it's fine. That's the way things work. I'm not mad at that. I don't get mad at anything, honestly. the Pete Davidson thing against Dan Crenshaw. I thought it was funny. Um, it's one of those things where I always have like beliefs where intent is really important. A lot of people are like, I don't care what your intent was, you hurt me. It's like, personally, I don't like get over it. You know what my intent was. It wasn't to hurt you. Yeah, there is the whole thing of like SNL would go harder against like people on the right. But yeah, expect it. So if you're on the right, don't be on the right. If you have something that it's gonna get I can't victim blame, because then someone's gonna tell me about rape culture, and then I have to hear that, even though I'm fully aware of how the dynamics of that work, and I'm not just a close-minded cis white male. I'm actually pretty progressive. I don't know if I can say, well, progressive in a sense that I'm like, yeah, just do it, I guess. You know, it's not progressive as in like I'm gonna fight for your right to do it. It's kind of just like, I mean, if you do it, that's cool, I guess. You know, I'm not gonna stop you. Except for, yeah, I mean, I treat the like opposition the same way, where it's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Well, what am I gonna do? You know? So then I just let it slide. My problem is I just don't really care. Like I'll go as far to argue with someone who has a wrong viewpoint. We're talking about opinions here, but I will argue with someone who has the wrong viewpoint, aka not mine. And you know, I'll get intense about that, but in terms of like calling racism as I see it and putting a halt to it, like a vigilante or something, it's not really my cup of. That's probably gonna like boom on here because I just keep kicking my desk, so that sucks. Sorry, but yeah, I'm not gonna stop that shit. What am I gonna do if I don't have the courage to talk to someone because of like social anxiety or whatever? Why do you think I'm gonna be Mr. Incredible all of a sudden? You know, like that's not my job. Take it up with someone else, someone who cares. Bring it to the police. I'm sure they'll care about racism, am I right? They'll probably just like hire the dude as a police officer just so they can defend him. Because that's the country we're living in. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, I just don't really care. People, I don't know. One thing that's always got, like, always made me wonder is, like, people call me annoying. Because if you lay, like, my tendencies out, it's like 70% not saying anything, which according to, you know, the brother of an ex of mine, I was you know, he didn't like me, which I never understood because I was quiet all the time. Sometimes I'd be like, hey, what's up? But other than that, like I would just see him and like not say anything. So I don't know how you can hate someone who doesn't like you. Like it's not indifference in terms of the Holocaust. I'm just not really too concerned with, you know, you making pasta while I'm trying to watch Chopped or something. Like, am I supposed to be your best friend? Like, no, I don't think so. Like, you and I both know that we're not going to become the best of friends. So I don't know why you have to not like me. And that's not like a me talking directly to him. Like in general, how can you find me annoying if I don't talk? I guess it's the bursts of moments where like I have energy and talk a lot, or maybe that I say stupid shit just because it's like funny or something. Like it's just goofy. It's not supposed to be like super serious. Like a lot of things I say to be funny, it's not like a structured joke. It's just like random, offensive, definitely. That's a character flaw to some people, but it's more interesting than a lot of like precautious humor, honestly. Like the whole surprise of it is something that is like more interesting. Like the whole thing of like I'll joke about things that I don't even believe in. Like if it's offensive, 99% of the time, I only have to say that because I don't want to sound too like, you know, sure of myself, but 99% of the time I don't believe it. And it's funny because it's like, oh, I'm saying it because I don't believe it. And that gets kind of convoluted because one day my dad came home and he gave me a Border Patrol hat. And I was like, the only person who's going to wear this is like racists or like white guys in Arizona because they're racist. It's just inherent. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear this because this is like my pseudo MAGA hat, and I don't believe in any of that. But I think it'd be kind of funny if I wore a Border Patrol hat because people would just assume I'm an asshole and like don't like Mexicans or something, even though it's not the case. And it's just like a blue hat to me with white letters on it that just like, I don't know, maybe hides my bad hair for the day or something, or just goes with the outfit. It has nothing to do with my personal beliefs. I just thought it was kind of funny. Of course, it's not funny at all because no one's laughing. No one ever thought it was funny. They'd be like, they probably wouldn't even mention it. They're probably just like, since when do you wear hats? And I'm like, oh, you see, it's called irony. I'm wearing it ironically because I don't believe this. And it's funny because you're caught off guard that I would even consider wearing it. Oh, that came up. I know for a fact. Hold on. I think turning the mic on and off just fucks with it. I should probably just mute it when I do shit like that. Anyway. I don't even know where I was going to go from here. I had something on my mind. Oh, yeah. So, I have like this tendency to do things ironically or to make fun of something like for long periods of time to the point where like I just become that. And that even works for things where like if I'm watching something for a while, I'm sure this happens to everyone. Like even if you're in a different country, you just kind of adopt the way people talk, or like the way things are said. If you move to a different state, even or a different city, I don't even know. But I just like developed like the way to talk like that, and like the different like cadences, kind of. Well, not necessarily cadences, but it's just like the words that are used. And so that gets annoying just because I feel like I'm copying every time I talk. Like every time I make a joke now, I just think of like Chris D'Elia or something because I watch like his podcast all the time, and I'm like, oh, I just sound like him. But him has kind of become me. So if I wasn't being him through me, then I wouldn't be being me at that point because I know that I'm prone to taking on traits of other people and just running with it as my own. And that's not like plagiarism. It's just like it just latches on to me. Like, Eddie Brock is you and I'm the suit, so call me Venom. You know what I'm saying? Like just some shit like that. Okay, so I have this idea where during this whole, festival of nothingness, boredom, and people clicking off because they don't really want to hear me talk for a while. Oh, yeah. So anyway, every podcast probably I think I'm just going to like check Twitter moments and just see what the hell's going on. 'Cause that's where I get a lot of my news from. I really need to follow news stations, but for the moment, Twitter news does just fine just because I get all this stupid political shit, and then I scroll down and I get hip hop. I don't even like skateboarding. I don't know why that's here. Underground hip hop. NBA is just a popular topic. I don't really follow that. Yeah, so anyway, all right. Let's check it out. President Trump makes a bid for bipartisanship following U.S. midterm election. Bullshit. You're a liar. Texas, I don't know why you're trending. Probably did some racist shit. Oh, didn't they get flipped? Wait, hold on. See, this is the problem with this one, because then I just go fucking cold. Ted Cruz won again. Dude, how do you get disrespected by Donald Trump for fucking months during the primaries like 2 years ago and then still win? Like, I don't like Donald Trump at all, really. But I gotta admit, like, it's different because I didn't want him to be president. But when I was watching those fucking primaries and this dude was just up there shit-talking every goddamn person, it was mad funny. I must admit. I was like, oh, this is the state of politics, but also, this is kind of interesting. because he's literally just making people want to cry. At Jeb Bush, basically. He looks like he'd cry. Rand Paul looks like he would cry. Ted Cruz looks like he's already crying and kills people. Marco Rubio, he was just kind of typical. But Donald Trump, small hands, but a big old schlonger, I guess. According to him, no issues. Why the fuck do you have to talk about that, dude? Like, what are you doing? I know it's 2 years old, but why do you have to do that? On a political stage, I rest assure you, my dick is just fine. Yeah, cool. Okay. Like, congrats. Wait, how the hell? There's a dead candidate? Yeah, you guys can look into that yourself because some of these take too much reading. I was hoping I'd just see some random stuff and like, oh, Michigan votes to legalize recreational marijuana. Speaking of, didn't hand in my absentee vote for Connecticut, and a Republican won. How much did he win by? Guess what? More than one vote. Anyway, so much for legal weed. Rest in peace. So, yeah, that sucks. I mean, apparently they were both real shit candidates. My whole thing at this point is that people right now voting for Democrat and Republican, they're looking a lot at like health insurance and shit like that, which I get is important. A lot of like taxes and stuff like that. But maybe yeah. Before I go into this is very close-minded in a way, because obviously I don't have to pay my insurance and shit like that right now, like my health care and all that. I don't have to deal with that. So to me, it's not that big of an issue, but obviously it will be when I'm giving out over a third of my money to student loans and then have to pay for insurance and shit like that, which I haven't factored in. So yeah, it's going to be fun. But my whole thing is, well, with Connecticut, with Malloy, a lot of people were like talking about high taxes and money not going where it's supposed to, and people are like, "Oh, if you vote for Ned Lamont, it's just a third term of Malloy." And I definitely see how that's bad. Yeah, I definitely see how that's bad. But on the grand scheme of things, having more Democrats in office will, and this is a liberally positioned podcast, just because it's me. But you got to give some a little bit to get something. And I get that. I completely understand all their viewpoints, but from a personal standpoint, from a person who has no idea what the fuck is going on and I don't have to pay for shit, you know, like this whole social issue thing, it's just, ever since Donald Trump got in, like it just like fucking exploded. I gotta fucking do not disturb my phone. So yeah, once Donald Trump got in, everything just turned to shit. And with Republicans taking over everything, it was just kind of weird to navigate. But now that Democrats have the House, hopefully that'll do more to help levy that. Republicans still have Senate. But having more Democrats is like, my rooting for them is much more on a social, is much more socio-political as opposed to just being straight politics and like policy and all that. Like obviously my whole thing is, you know, high taxes in a sense where people that haven't gotten fucking taxed should pay up at corporations. Give your fucking money up, dude. Okay? Yeah. 30 more years left until you drop dead. Do you really need to make 500% profit and not pay taxes legally? Legally, I would at least respect it if you fucking did it behind the government's back, because fuck them. But to legally do it, what are you doing? See, the problem with, like, Republicans want to just feed corporations money like a baby, all their rich friends. And I mean, everyone in politics has that. Like, low key, but the problem is like the whole lowering taxes thing is much more of a tax cut for the rich. And so I will admit the Trump tax shit makes it much more well, I don't know about much more, but it definitely takes a little bit off the top. When I'm looking at my average salary for coming out of college, like for my field of marketing. So I guess that's good. That's if I live in Connecticut, but now there's going to be a Republican, so that's probably going to fucking turn shit on its head, and there's no more weed. Rest in peace. So yeah, I get all that. So I'm not opposed to Republicans 100% policy wise. It's more of the way they go about the policy and the way that they do it, and like everyone's corrupted. I'm just specifically talking about Republicans here. So yeah, I wouldn't mind lower taxes. I don't think anyone would, or at least more efficiently use taxes. But the whole thing with the Republicans is just the whole religious in politics kind of thing, and how that fucks up a lot of like the social, just the social dynamic of like the country, really, because they're defending, pro-life because that's how God says it. It's like, hey, those are 2,000-year-old rules. If like, don't you think it's outdated? That, I get it that it's your God and all, and he said that this is how it works, and you're like, all right, even though a lot of those people back then were probably just eating the fucking desert flowers or whatever and tripping off their ass and writing down shit that they visioned, which I think there's a lot of scientists or something that think that's actually what happened, and I wouldn't doubt it. If I was back then and it was just open terrain and like desert cactus or whatever, they didn't have cactuses out there. That's like Arizona, like desert something. You're eating it. That's just what you're doing. You're in a time frame of exploration and discovery. You're just blowing your mind by eating like these like drug-filled plants. So if you think that religion didn't in any way come from that, you're to put it in a really disgusting and old term, you're bonkers. So yeah. Yeah, the only reason I'd really want Democrats, I'm not too money motivated. My whole thing in life isn't about making the most amount of money. And if people are like, oh, I'll give you money for this, like, it's really more of like, do I want to do it? Most of the time I don't want to do it, and I don't make money. Especially like when I work with my dad, I'm like, hey, what do we have to do? And he's like, oh, we got to drop like fucking 8 trees. And I'm like, keep the $75 I'm fucking sleeping in, and I'll make that executive decision for myself. But out here, like, still not really money motivated. So it's like, just make sure social things are all right. But I guess the problem with like the Democrats leading the social charge is just the fact that this whole PC thing is going super deep. And we don't know when it's going to stop. Obviously, it's going to stop, and it's going to retract a little bit, and it's not going to be like polarizing. Like at the moment, it's just getting crazier and crazier and more intense, and there's more rules, and like there's a lot more cracking down on bullshit that maybe doesn't really need to be cracked down upon. However, like some things just have to be like taken care of, like the whole rape thing. I get that. No one wants to lose innocent people to rape, but eventually that I'm assuming that later in the future there'll be less of an instance of people like lying to get people in trouble, but also who knows, because some people are just fucking crazy with that. But yeah, so I'm all for like the social progression. The thing the way I see it is see, I don't really care about much. Like everything's just like, day by day. So I don't mind a couple of years of like, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't joke about that, you can't do that. Like, don't look at her for too long or else you're like sexual offender or something. I don't mind a couple of years of that, just because there's so much shit that we have to fix that if we have to micromanage it to a point of where it's like tiring, eventually things will get better, and then we'll just like let up on like enforcing so much. And yeah, that might cause things to get like worse than they got to be. But in the end, it's still better off than it was. So it's kind of just like over analyzing it and like over, you know, being overly progressive just to get to a better point. It's like when you're putting two like liquids together. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I'm like the only person I know that mixes like regular drinks. Like I'll be putting Mountain Dew, Sprite, and Coke together. Or I'll be putting like a raspberry lemonade and watermelon juice. Anyway, so you put one in, and then you put the one that you don't really want as much in, but in the end it makes like it taste a little better, even though there's still like that like that's how it is with like Coke and Sprite. It's like you don't really want to put the Sprite in there because it's Sprite and Coke, but you kind of like the bubbles, so you kind of just deal with the taste of the Sprite. I don't know how many people know what I'm talking about, but if you ever went to Lake Compounds as a child and cashed in on the free soda, which I never drank soda that much until I fucking went there for like a goddamn decade, I would just be mixing fucking everything together. I was a scientist. I was just putting shit together, seeing what would happen. Yeah, we're at like 50 minutes here, so I think it's about time we wrap it up or something. See, I don't really know what we're gonna do here. I don't like have a schedule I can talk about. I don't have anything. I'm a broke college student. I don't have anything. Yeah, everything else on my list here is just like shit that I'll get to just by like easing into it. Nothing I want to force out. However, this is old. It doesn't really matter anymore, but I will address this so I can get it off my list. Fuck slime videos. Just fuck them. If you're a hand model for folding and putting your fingers into slime, bye. Just leave. Delete your Instagram. If you're over 6, stop. That's just one thing that we shouldn't have around. Fuck that. Fuck that. Putting like the balls in the slime and rolling it around so it's glittery and colorful. No one cares. It's not soothing to watch. It's really annoying because you think like there's no skill to it. Anyone can fold slime. The only difference is that my nails don't look as good as yours, and I have mad ripped up skin, I don't know, on my cuticles or whatever. So, yeah. All right, so it's about time to wrap this up. So I'll see you guys whenever I post another podcast up or something. We'll figure it out. I'll get the word out. I'll be the messenger and the writer, and all you have to do is be my faithful sheep. All right, so I'm your broke college student with a podcast. So catch you next time. Bye.